Cum am spus, aș vrea să o introduc, să ne prezinte câteva elemente doamna Magda Carli, cu rugămintea de a ne prezenta puțin din activitatea domniei sale legată de suportul pe care, unitatea pe care domnia sa o cunoaște, îl poate acorda cercetării, în speță cercetării românești. Vă rog.
All right. Thanks a lot, Professor Marin Burcea. Thanks a lot for introducing this session. I'm very pleased to be here with you today. It's an honor to be at this conference. Unfortunately, Mr. Jean-Henri Perquet my Director General could not be here representing DG Research and Innovation, but I'm here to pass anyway some of his messages too. Also from my own position as head of the unit dealing with the European semester and country intelligence and dealing with the synergies with the structural funds and policy support facility. So thanks a lot again for this invitation. I think I'm very pleased to be in this panel that is entitled Building the Post-Pandemic World, the Path to a More Sustainable, Safe and Resilient Society. And I think I will link directly to the title of this session, because indeed, if we want to build a path to a more sustainable, safe and resilient society, I think it's now recognized by everyone that it's important to invest in research and innovation and to reform the system, the R&I system, in order to make these investments impactful towards the resilience and the recovery. So we start from this first assumption, and that's why I'm very pleased that there is this full day session on the research and the importance of research and innovation for it. The second reason why I'm very pleased to be here is that this is very timely. This conference is very timely, that we are discussing about these things now. It is very timely because we are at a crucial moment, both for the development in the policy side of research and innovation, and also for the programming and operational sides for promoting the investments in research and innovation. We can really say that indeed we are at the start of a new era. So now, I want in my intervention that I will try to keep short to highlight three reasons why this is a crucial moment. First of all, when we are talking about recovery and resilience and being resilient and to build a recovery, of course, we cannot avoid talking about the recovery and resilience facility. So indeed, this is an instrument, as you well know, at the heart of the Next Generation EU, which has been built in order to and created in order to respond to the COVID-19 crisis, with 672.5 billion in loans and grants available to member states to be invested for public investments and reforms that can contribute to member states' socioeconomic recovery and resilience. So it is extremely important that we understand as well that this represents a unique occasion for research and innovation, especially for those countries that have been underinvested, because it's a perfect moment to raise these investments to the needed level, to create this critical mass of investments, to create this quantum leap towards resilience. And we focus on the twin transition. And it's the moment as well for RRF as well to link these investments to reforms in research and innovation. So we have been extremely pleased to see that indeed in the recovery and resilience plans that we have received, research and innovation, investments in research and innovation and reforms in research and innovations are indeed figuring quite strongly. And at the same time also thematically oriented investments that drive and facilitate the twin transition and contribute to the system-wide resilience. So we know very well, and congratulations to Romania, because on 28th of October, the EU Ministers for Economic and Financial Affairs, the ECOFIN Council, had indeed confirmed their positive assessment of the Romanian recovery and resilience plans. So it is very good because it is an important milestone in this process of building the resilience and going towards a recovery, also through investments in research and innovation. And we are very pleased that according to our calculation, but of course don't quote me because it's our internal calculation and we are discussing internally to find the final figure, but we have seen around 260 million of R&D investments on a period of 5 years. And this means 52 million of average annual investment increase, meaning 11.6% from the current rate of public R&D investments in Romania, which is indeed an increase that has a potential to deeply transform the Romanian R&D system and R&D policy and governance. So congratulations for that. And you have mentioned research careers and reforms in research careers, regulatory framework for public-private cooperation, and also we liked a lot that in your program you made specific references as well to links to Horizon Europe missions and to the participation to European partnerships, which is also a very important element where we are working for the investments and reforms in the member states, but also in conjunction with the other initiatives at EU level. So this is the first reason why we are at the end of this design process with the adoption of your plan. Now we are moving to the implementation. And it's very important as well that we move to the implementation, but also with the support of the Commission. So I'm also pleased in this context to see that Romania has made use of the policy support facility, which is a tool that our DG is is making available to the member states in order to support them with experts on the reform process. This was launched on in 5th of June, and in September there was the first meeting with 8 experts, and there was interviews and discussion with 54 different institutions and 86 individuals from the field of research and innovation. And this is a request from the Romanian government to improve and strengthen the quality of the national research and development innovation system and unleash the potential of Romanian scientists in ERA. Therefore, this will be concluded in April 22 with recommendations. And once again, here we are to discuss how to really make the best out of these reforms and how to make it real, the implementation, with the support as well of the Commission. So first of all, this is the first block of my consideration. The RRF is now adopted. There are tools to support, and now it's really a matter of engage and have all parties involved to bring forward the commitments that have been so well expressed in the Romanian plans. Second, here we've been talking about investments, but of course there is a policy framework which is very important. And here, when we are talking about research and innovation, we cannot avoid talking about the European research area. There is a new European research area. A communication was adopted in September 2020, and this was followed by Council conclusion in December. And the activities since then, this is creating the framework, the governance framework to ensure comparability and coordination across all member states and to create these framework conditions for research and innovation to flourish at European level through coordination of different actions. So since the adoption of the communication and the adoption of the Council conclusion, the work has gone very quickly. And Romania is part, in fact, of the ERA Forum for Transition that was established in January. And here we are at this same moment discussing at the Council level the recommendations for a pact for research and innovation and also the policy agenda. So once again, here we are setting out the programming of concrete joint action all across Europe to create this European research ecosystem in a coordinated fashion. This is really the purpose of the ERA policy agenda. So once again, the Commission is co-creating with the member states this agenda with actions that goes from the research, improving of research careers, improving research infrastructure, creating hubs, and of course, as well, a very important point of focus on investments and reforms with some specific targets in terms of investments that we really would like to see pursued in an ambitious way, as it was at the beginning of all this, meant at the beginning of all this process. So the message is indeed here to actively participate in this design, in this co-design of this new European research area, and maintain therefore the initial ambitions of this process, including commitment to ambitious investment and targets that are so important in order to come, and I come back again, to come to the recovery and ensure resilience and the transformation to the through the twin transition. Last but not least, this is my third point, we cannot forget one important tool that is there from the Commission to the Member States and all stakeholders to invest in research and innovation. So this is the part from the Commission side, and is Horizon Europe. We have available 95.5 billion that will be going to what is the most transnational research and innovation program ever. So it has been adopted in May, the framework program, Horizon Europe, and now also the work programs are already adopted. Now, this is important because the Horizon Europe will promote excellence and provide valuable support to top researchers and innovators to drive the systemic changes needed to ensure a green, healthy, and resilient Europe. So this is very much linked again to the specific theme of today. It will do so through different measures, through the funding frontier research, through the ERC, you know very well, funding talents and movement of talents and circulation of talents through Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions, through collaborative research, in reinforcing technological and industrial capacity in the thematic clusters. For instance, since in the panel are also responsible for digital and space cluster, of course we have the digital industry and space cluster that will scale up R&D resources in climate-related domains and ensure that European enterprises have access to the technologies and data they need. So all these measures are also coupled with the novelties, the European missions that will be aiming by 2030 to 3 million lives saved from cancer diseases, 100 climate neutral cities, healthy oceans, seas and internal waters, healthy soils and food, and regions resilient to climate changes. And together with the missions, we have also the European partnership approach, which you have indeed mentioned as well in your RRPs. So it is very important for you in particular, so again, this is not the last, but it's extremely important for you that there is a specific part of research of the Horizon Europe, which is dedicated to low R&I performing countries. And in this edition, in this Horizon Europe, we have 3.3% of the program's budget compared to the 1% in the previous program dedicated to the support to lower R&I performing countries. I cannot, of course, recall simply teaming, twinning, era shares that probably to the research stakeholders are very known measures. So, of course, the message here is to try to exploit all these possibilities. And the important thing from Romania is indeed that in Horizon Europe, in Horizon Europe already Romania benefited from 279 million euro compared to 154 million in the previous program. So this came to an increase of 50% of the number of participants. So of course, Romania, we know, is still an emerging innovator with an R&I expenditure that is below the EU average, but there is a clear trend, and also this is shown in the participation to Horizon Europe. So again, this is already a good way to analyze, to look at the future in a positive way. And of course, when we are talking about Horizon, simply to remind that Horizon is not the only tool for research and innovation. Cohesion policy is there. You are at the beginning of the programming period of the cohesion, the operational programs, partnership agreements that you are now discussing and negotiating. So do not forget that research and innovation is an objective as well, included in the specific objective 1, Smart Europe. And there are a lot of synergies that can be used, including transfer of part of the budget for Horizon Europe to the benefit of Romanian companies and Romanian stakeholders. So there are a number of elements like the transfer, funding seal of excellence, participation in partnership, and we can eventually focus on that later on. So my final message is now, first of all, there are a lot of opportunities, as you see, and it's the moment now for Romania, as for all the member states, to seize this opportunity and make the most of it, to do this quantum leap that is extremely important in terms of investments and reforming research and innovation to build the recovery and the resilience and to move to twin transition. This is, of course, all these resources are for benefit to all stakeholders, all national and regional parts in it, and above all to all citizens. So, of course, there is a benefit to all the stakeholders, but there is also a request of an effort and commitment by all to make this commitments, this proposal, these elements that we have seen in the plan, and all the opportunities in Horizon, and all the framework that is in ERA, to make really finally concrete and responding to the initial ambitions. So the Commission is not outside all this, it's together with the Member States, with the stakeholders in all this, with all these tools that we are mobilizing, and of course we are there to support and therefore to win together these challenges. These are my messages, and I'm really looking forward to hear from the other participants in the panel and answer questions if there are questions. Thanks a lot.